Speedball Mike Bailey nearly had the TNT Championship in his clutches, but then the title escaped at the last second when Kyle Fletcher was helped out by fellow Don Callis family member stablemates Kazuchika Okada distracting the referee with a screwdriver, bitch. And then Mark Davis said, "Here, take the title," and Kyle's like, "Okay." And then he was able to attain the victory, and Speedball Mike Bailey was upset backstage. But he says, even though he lost, he said, "We must look forward, not backwards, upwards, not forwards," and always twirling, whirling, twirling until he eventually hits the ultimate weapon for 3 to win singles gold. I'm John Wetton with my review of AEW Dynamite from the San Jose Civic Center in San Jose, California. So this and the following AEW Revolution 2026 predictions might be a little bit on the quicker side for a couple reasons. One, a little bit tired, and also kind of a little bit leery of the fact that we're dealing with a windstorm. And don't worry, gonna be all right regardless, but that's the thing about windstorms, they could lead to some power outages and some issues. So, hope you all are doing well, and let's get on into it. Excalibur was not on commentary, unless it was something major, like a medical emergency, or something with family. I hope he's okay. I hope if it was something that kept him off the show, beyond his control, I hope that he's all right. If he just took the show off, okay. If there's nothing that really led to him just saying, "I can't be there," I don't really think he'd be missed on commentary, because we had Ian Riccaboni, we had Tony Schiavone, we had Bryan Danielson on commentary. Ian Riccaboni should be calling more of these shows because he calls them like a sport, while providing a little bit of entertainment. Mox and Claudio took on Takeshita and Hechicero. I tried to watch this when Claudio and Hechicero were in the ring, and I know Mox and Take are going to have their match at Revolution. I tried to watch it. I just can't stand Moxley. After all that bullshit with the AEW World title and having that title reign that basically led me to pretty much just hate everything involving the Death Riders. No, I just can't fucking do it. And the Wrestle Dream 2024 stuff, why is Danielson not pissed at Moxley still for that? Like, good lord. Anyway, there were holy shit chants because they were popping for Moxley and Takeshita. Thumb in the eye and a roll-up won it. Then Shafir celebrates like she has any reason to think that she contributes anything positive to this whole thing. Archer then body checks her. That'll teach you, you dumb bitch. And then Mark Davis was there. So there we go. Then Take won't use the chair. Why not? Oh, he won't do it because he has honor. I mean, I get it. They're trying to get this whole thing where Takesha's going to leave the Callis family, but goddamn, I don't care. There were fuck Don Callis, fuck Ice 2 chants. Abolish Ice, fuck Trump, fuck you if you support either of them. And, yeah, that was certainly something. Takeshita has to win. He really has to. Renee is with Willow and Persephone. I know there is a particular viewer that really liked this for purely wrestling reasons. But that being said, they both look good. Persephone, very fired up to face Willow. They have history, especially with Mercedes. And now we can see how this will go. Which hits harder? Why is everyone so horny? MJF kind of brushes Kyle off, telling Callis, you better teach your guys how to talk to a champ. So, Kyle then says, "Tell me we're not working with that." And I know they're leading to Kyle leaving the Callis family, but god damn it. Fletcher took on Speedball Mike Bailey for the TNT title. Now, with the exception of a couple things, I actually thought this is one of the best matches that they've had on Dynamite in a while. There was hold number 1, arm bar, kicker be kicking. Fletcher focused on the bare feet as well as the toes rather, because Bailey has the Fatal Fury 2 shin guard things. That being said, there was some nice stuff. He did fight back with some speed, because he is Speedball. The crowd was into this. There was a break after a moonsault outside to a pop. That was nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. And a long dart into the corner to stop him. There was a nice corkscrew outside as well just before that, so they were going counter for counter. There was a triangle trap, and then a powerbomb to stop it, and double knees, outside. So 5 minutes left, and I like they were doing the 10-minute call, the 5-minute call. Good. I don't remember the woman's name. It does the ring announcing. Let her do that more. She does better than Smiley Roberts. So a kick for 2. The crowd booed. I think they really want Bayley to win. A driver for 2. The crowd pops, and then the knees miss. A roll-up, and then another trap roll-up. And then Okada distracts. Davis gives Fletcher the title. Boom. Brainbuster 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Now, I'm not against running this back at some point, but I think they need to have the interference out of there and have it be clean next time. Brody King then beat Enhancement Town. I didn't catch the guy's name. Then he calls out, well, he basically Swerve ends up coming out there in a hood. Okay, I see what they did there. And Brody then broke the chain and then got a sleeper. And Swerve managed to get away by kind of snapping his arm with the chain over the ropes. And Nana then also tried attacking just before that. So, okay, a little bit of, stuff leading to this good match, or this potentially good match. We'll see. Speedball was fired up. He did fumble a little bit, but then looking forwards, not backwards. Darby and Orange Cassidy took on Davito Finlay and Gabe Kidd. And later, Clark Connors ran to the ringside area, that is, clocked Orange Cassidy with a tire iron, which is how I feel every time I watch Gabe Kidd or Orange Cassidy in the ring, like hitting myself in the head with a tire iron. Darby got pinned. This is dog shit, war dog shit, as it were. Darby, you know what? He's one of the only over guys that they have that has been there since the beginning, that even despite any bad booking, he still is, but this feud is terrible. So, then Roderick Strong shows up, and he saves Orange Cassidy. What was the point of that whole thing? Wait, I don't care. So, Willow Nightingale and Persephone had a match that everybody enjoyed for purely wrestling purposes. And you're lying if you said that. But honestly, these two had the best match on the show. Even though Fletcher and Speedball did go counter for counter, move for move, I felt this was the best wrestled match of the show. TBS title, called the Death by Snoo Snoo match. Sorry, they're both very talented and very attractive women. Ian raps Willow's theme. He is good. He is very good. Finally, something for the wrestling, and only that. They took it seriously. They hit some nice stuff. They did mention that the April 15th Dynamite and Collision double taping that I'm going to is in Seattle. It is in Everett. Everett is nowhere near Seattle. I mean, it is if you drive, and if you have no traffic on the freeway, but it's still about 20-something miles north. Actually, I would argue that it's actually, yeah, it's about 15, 20 miles north. You know, north end to like south end of Everett. So, big fall away slam to a pop. This was some nice stuff here. Persephone showing off some incredible strength. Spinebuster on the floor. Why? I don't understand why they did that. A moonsault from Willow misses. A German by Persephone and then a moonsault by her. And a back and forth. A nice drop kick. A Razor's Edge attempt off the ropes. That's Persephone's finish, but Willow managed to get a backslide 1, 2, 3. Not bad. Pretty good stuff in all honesty. And there we go. We are just rolling. We're rolling along to the finish. Because basically, Willow and Harley are going to have matches at Revolution. They're going to defend the tag titles against Megan and Lena Cross. But before that, Willow's going to defend the TBS title against Lena Cross on the pre-show. More on that later. Mark Briscoe and the Bucks took on FTR and Ciampa. Referee Rick Knox. And I like this match because it allowed me to skip 16 minutes, or almost 20, including entrances. Ciampa ended up pinning Mark Briscoe because they had to pin somebody out of this whole thing, and Mark Briscoe, unfortunately, is the fall guy. They laid Mark out with a chair, and by they I mean Ciampa, and then he did his finish, or one of his finishes, on the goddamn chairs. So there you are. And then a video package with both MJF and Hangman. And there you are. They're doing a press conference backstage, WrestleMania 8 style and everything, and or presenting it like a fight, like a real fight, except there was wrestling media asking questions. That wasn't the problem. The crowd was booing, and then eventually they had to, have a drink in the face, fight out into the crowd. There was a dead eye to MJF, and even though security was in there, they got laid out, and then a barbed wire board, and then the tease of doing that because they're going to have a Texas death match, and that is basically it. You know what? Fuck it. Double video. Let's just go to the AEW Revolution 2026 predictions now. Double video. Hooray. So, 21-man Battle Royal for the National Championship. I don't fucking care. Ricochet or Jack Perry. Ricochet will retain or they'll have Jack Perry do it. I mean, this is as of late Wednesday night that they have this. So that's pretty much whatever they announce on Collision. I don't care. Willow Nightingale versus Lena Cross for the TBS title. It's going to be via DQ to protect Lena. And Willow's going to retain, but more on that later. Moxley versus Takeshita for the AEW Continental Championship. Take, please, have it be under 15 minutes, except there's no time limit, so it'll probably go way longer, but it really should actually go 10, and he should beat Moxley, and resoundingly beat him. If Take doesn't win, you got to send him to, like, on New Japan shows for a while to get the stink of, like, this Moxley feud off of him. Have him beat Moxley and have him go do something else. I don't know, have him unify the title against Okada and actually keep it fucking unified. Brody King versus Swerve. I think one of two things. Brody is going to win because Kenny's going to come back and cost Swerve, which will lead to Kenny and Swerve. And I know Kenny has some video game thing that he's doing, but I think he's going to be cleared in time to come back and do that. He will be able to, cost Swerve this match, and then they can build a dynasty where it's in Canada, and it'll be interesting. And hell, maybe Kenny will show up at the Everett taping. He'll be one. They'll probably have more people on the roster than they will in the building, but nevertheless. Swerve can lose and be okay. Brody losing, I think, might actually hurt him more. But maybe they want to heat up Swerve. I just think that Brody has to be the one to win, even if it's by, Kenny doing a costly, by him costing Swerve and being not so clean. So fresh and so clean. Andrade versus Bandito, not for the Ring of Honor Championship. I thought Bandito was the Ring of Honor champion. Andrade then, because it is not for the title, is what I think will happen. Big Boom AJ versus who? Not Jim Neidhart, because unfortunately Jim Neidhart had passed away, and I think even if Jim Neidhart hadn't passed away, even on his best day, at that age, I don't think would have been very good. I don't care who Big Boom AJ faces. I'm not a big fan of the family. I don't hate them, but they are who they are, and it's not for me. So, Tekla and Chris Statlander, 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW Women's Championship. They're going to split the first two, and Tekla's going to win. Or Tekla's going to win 2 straight falls, because Statlander lost her confidence. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know if that's necessarily a good story, but Tekla, if she had the championship ever since, like, say, January, or even December, just an example, then Statlander could win it back. Now, Tekla's got to keep it until she eventually loses it to Mercedes, who apparently is going to be coming back sometime around Revolution. So I think that's where we're going to go with it. So Tekla wins, 2-1. Darby, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong against David Finlay, Gabriel Kidd, and Clark Connors. I don't care. I guess the faces will win. Whatever. Maybe Roddy's just going to screw over Orange Cassidy and it's just a way to mess with him. It doesn't matter. None of it. Darby is just totally underutilized here. Whatever. I don't blame David Finlay, by the way, for going to AEW because they want him to lead a stable in NXT that really was not going to be all that great. So, no, I don't blame him one bit. He might as well lead a stable of people that he's been with before. And also I want to say in regards to signings, apparently Nikki Blackheart, the indie sensation that is very swole, as people used to say, who is very good, a raw talent who is very attractive, signed with WWE. I would love to have seen her sign with AEW to face certain people, but I don't blame her if it's her dream. Best of luck to her. Let's wish her the best of luck. Tony Storm, Marina Shafir, everyone banned from ringside. It's going to take a while to get all the fans out of the Crypto.com arena, but they'll do it. In all seriousness, Tony Storm, please, for the love of God, have Tony Storm win. Why is Shafir getting a singles match when she's fucking rotten? The Babes of Wrath against Megan and Lena. Megan and Lena, because it's about time we switch the tag titles. No offense against Harley. Harley and Willow have done well, but this way you put it on a tag team that's up and coming, It's not Penelope, so you don't have really much of a risk of anything causing or anything being injury related, so there you are. So let's go to Okada and Fletcher, and Mark Davis against Mystico and Jet Speed. Don Callis family, I guess, by default. If Kevin Knight will probably take the pin again, because I don't see Mystico taking the pin. FTR and the Bucks for the AEW tag titles. It will go way longer than necessary, have way more near falls than necessary, way more ridiculous spots, and Rick Knox will still prove that he is not worth drawing a breath on a wrestling program. The Bucks will win. And then Hangman MJF last chance Texas Death Match. Look, I'm all for MJF winning and them trying to build up something where Hangman does eventually get a shot and everything where he just gets totally screwed over. I just don't think that they're going to be that smart, and it would need to be at least a year or 2 years. And I don't think they're going to think that long ahead, and I don't think they need to. Because I think MJF's got another movie project coming up, and that's why they did this. Hangman's going to win. MJF is going to go off and do a movie for a little bit, maybe be back by Dynasty. I'm all for MJF retaining, but I think Hangman's going to do it. And then there we go. And whatever other matches they had, I don't know. I don't have a clue. So double video, there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Retlin. Until we get to AEW Revolution in just a few days, unless I'm blown away, by the win that is. That's all I mean. Happy trails to you.